Should I hire a mediator for my divorce? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder and CEO of Farias Family Law. We are a divorce and custody firm in Southern Massachusetts. And this question comes up all the time. And so I thought it would be helpful to go over the pros and cons of having a mediator help you process your divorce. Let me start by saying that mediation can be a very effective tool. Basically, the parties are hiring a third party for guidance and for help in coming to a decision about what they're going to do on these divorce related issues, how they're going to divide their property, parenting time. And so it can be efficient in the sense that you can save money on litigation. You can get your divorce done faster because you are not dealing with the courts as much. However, people tend to overutilize mediation or use it in the wrong circumstances. And so that's what I'm here to talk about. When does it make sense to use a mediator? And when does it make sense to have representation and or do both? So first of all, I want to remind you that a mediator is a neutral third party. A mediator cannot advise you on what you should do. If both parties sign on with a mediator, if the mediator is giving advice to either party, then that is a conflict of interest. So the main thing you need to keep in mind is that it is important to recognize where you are on the risk spectrum when you are getting divorced to determine whether using only a mediator to get you through the divorce process makes sense. And so the best way to think about it is if you are on the low end of the risk spectrum, let's say you have a short-term marriage, you don't have children, or there is no dispute about the parenting time for the children or child support. Let's say there aren't a lot of assets to divide. You don't have a significant disparity in income between the parties. It's a pretty straightforward case. Then it makes sense to just use a mediator. If your risk is low, it doesn't make sense for you to spend a significant amount of money on an attorney to advise you because there isn't much to lose. Now, as you move down the risk spectrum toward the riskier end, in the sense that maybe you have a longer term marriage, there are parenting time issues that need to be sorted out, support issues, either child support, alimony, you have a significant amount in assets that needs to be divided, then there is more that can go wrong. And the greater the risk when you move toward divorce, then the more sense it makes to invest in getting advice yourself on what you should and should not do. So this is a very important point because sometimes we see people who are in these long-term marriages, there are custody disputes, and they want to save time and money, so they go to a mediator. The problem is if you are not well equipped to go into the mediation session, in the sense that maybe your significant other will present better, maybe the mediator will just have a bad day and not give good advice or favor your spouse. If you go into a mediation session in a high-risk situation and you get some feedback that's not helpful, then you are digging yourself out of a hole. So some of these people go into these sessions, they get some bad feedback, then they come out and they look for an attorney to help them undo the mess. And unfortunately, it doesn't work as well. Another issue is that if you don't have an attorney looking over your agreement, specifically through the lens of making sure you are protected, then you might have a mediator put things in the agreement that don't make sense for you. And so the bottom line here is that mediation is very helpful generally. However, you have to make sure that you use it in the right circumstances. Also, if you are on the higher end risk of the spectrum in terms of risk, it makes sense to ensure that you get your own advice about how to proceed and not rely only on a mediator. If you have any other questions about this, you can call us 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, then you can subscribe to our channels. You can also find us on social at Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.